Let's go over some useful English expressions found in the comic book Spidey issue number 2. You can click above to watch the video about the first issue, and I have links below where you can find your own copy of issue number 2. In the second issue of the series, Peter Parker is getting ready for school and Aunt May gives him advice by telling him to just be himself. After getting humiliated in history class, Peter has a tutoring session with Gwen Stacy and impresses her with a reference to the Lord of the Rings. As Spider-Man, he comes across a bank robbery by Flint Marko, the Sandman. After a destructive battle, Spider-Man manages to defeat the Sandman by encasing him in cement. The story ends with Peter telling Aunt May that everything worked out thanks to her advice. So let's swing into some useful English expressions found in issue number 2. While in the classroom, Peter's history teacher tells him, "The midterm is next week, Mr. Parker. No bells can save you from that." Earlier, Peter was saved by the bell when asked a question. He didn't need to answer the question because it was asked right before the bell rang and the students were allowed to leave the class. To be saved by the bell means to be rescued from a difficult or dangerous situation at the last minute. Another example is, "I was saved by the bell when the fire alarm rang just as I was about to give a presentation." You might say this if you are about to give a presentation that you are nervous about because you haven't prepared well or because you just don't like speaking in public. After class, Gwen helps Peter with the question he couldn't answer from his teacher when she says, "General Leonidas used his environment to his advantage. His enemies couldn't escape." Leonidas was the king of Sparta and best known for his stand against the invading Persian army at the Battle of Thermopylae. In this battle, General Leonidas used his environment to his advantage. To use something to your advantage means to exploit a situation or resource in a way that benefits oneself. An example sentence using this expression is, "He used his connections in the industry to his advantage to get his business off the ground." In this sentence, to get something off the ground means to start something or make it succeed. While studying with Gwen, Peter keeps telling himself, "Be yourself," which means to behave or act in a way that is true to your own character, personality, and values. For example, I told him to just be himself during the interview, and he got the job. And she felt much happier once she started to be herself around her friends and family. Also, while studying together, Gwen tells Peter, "Okay, you held up your end. Now it's my turn to make you a history star." This is from the phrase, "to hold up one's end of the bargain," which means to fulfill one's obligations or responsibilities in an agreement or arrangement. Peter held up his end of the bargain. He tutored Gwen in science, and now it's her turn to tutor Peter in history. Another example sentence is, "I held up my end of the bargain. I cooked dinner, so you need to wash all the dishes. Don't just leave them in the sink." During his battle with the Sandman calls Spider-Man a bug, to which Spider-Man replies, "Calling me a bug? I don't think that's going to catch on." Catch on is a phrasal verb and has two main definitions. The definition used here is to become popular or fashionable. Spider-Man doesn't think being called a bug will catch on. After all, bugs are insects and spiders are not insects. Using this definition, we could say, the company tried starting a new social media platform, but it didn't catch on, meaning it didn't become popular. Our second definition of the phrasal verb catch on is to understand or comprehend something. I didn't catch on the joke until someone explained it to me. In this sentence, a joke was told and I didn't understand it. When coming home after another exciting day, Peter tells Aunt May that he had a great day, and Aunt May asks, "How'd you manage that?" The question, "How'd one manage that?" is used to express surprise at how someone achieved something or accomplished a task. You got an A on the exam, even though you didn't study? How'd you manage that? We could also expand this question to, how'd someone manage to do something? For example, how'd you manage to finish the entire pizza? I thought you weren't hungry. Another example is, how did your father manage to get tickets to the concert? They've been sold out for weeks. Thank you for watching. I hope at least one of these English expressions were new to you. Try to use one the next time you're speaking with someone in English or down below in the comments. See you in the future.